Hey folks, and welcome to the Bulldog Show. Stay tuned after the show for the replay of the Smith Station game with play-by-play by WKKR Kicker FM. Now here's Coach Smith McCracken and Mark Mitchell with the Bulldog Review.
Good evening and welcome to the Opelika Bulldog Review. I'm your host, Mark Mitchell, along with the head football coach and athletic director here at Opelika, Coach McCracken. We'll be back to talk about last Friday's big victory over Smith Station, 41-13 first area win for Opelika, 7th total win of the season. We'll be back to talk about that game right after this short commercial message.
Today's student faces many obstacles. The prohibitive cost of books and supplies. The absence of at-the-door parking. But savvy Auburn students have conquered these obstacles. Save money, park easy, sleep like a baby. Anders, now a Tiger Club merchant.
Okay, welcome back. Coach, congratulations, big victory Friday night, 41-13 over Smith Station. First area victory for your Bulldogs this year, 1-0, 7th victory of the year.
Mark, it was a great win. It was a tough one. People probably look at the paper and say 41-13. Man, that's great. You know, y'all drilled them, and we really didn't take the game over till midway through the third quarter. And but the most bizarre first quarter I've ever seen in my life at a football game. But I felt like our kids kept their composure, and I think the kicking game was the difference in the game. Their punter averaged, I want to say, 13 yards a punt in the second half. We got good field position. Corey ran 3 touchdowns in just like that, and set the tempo on the kickoff return in the second half. Mm-hmm. I think that was big, Mark, because I think the game was still in doubt then. I think Smith Station still thought they could win at halftime.
Right.
And that kickoff return, I really think set the tone of the second half. And then from then on, it was downhill, and we got that first one in, and it was another great win for Opelika and a hard-earned win. I think I've got to say that, you know, this team has really, really worked hard for everything that it's gotten. This has not been easy, and it was a pleasure to be able to play some young kids Friday night also after letting our veterans get out of there about midway through the fourth quarter.
Coach, it was 23 points scored in the first quarter in an area game like that, and usually you just wouldn't think it would be that many.
Oh, I know. And their quarterback, you know, I told you last week how good he was.
You did.
And that he was the one that we had to stop to win. And I thought after the first series, we held him in check pretty good.
Right.
But a great athlete. Gosh, they came out in no backs, and we had no idea what to look for. But we adjusted pretty good, and you know, we let them have a little going down the field, but we never gave up a big play after the first long run that they had. And I was quite pleased with our defense. And then our offense kept pecking away and got a little bit better as we went along. And of course, they get stronger usually as games go along. And but you can't take anything away from Smith Station. And I'm very it's a very unfortunate thing what happened to Coach Bonds. And I'd like to say to the people of Opelika and Smith Station, when you're a football coach, you get into the emotions of a football game. And I know Sean, and I know what kind of a person he is, and that no way reflects the kind of person he is. And I want everybody to know I got kicked out of a football game when I was at Robert E. Lee. And so it can happen to anybody, and I hope the people of Smith Station understand that he's fighting for his kids and fighting for his team. He's a heck of a football coach, and I wish Smith Station the best of the luck down the road, because I think you said this on the radio. They never quit. They played hard the whole game.
Right.
They were. Some of our kids were telling me after the game, Coach, those guys hit and hit and hit all the way to the end of the game, and that's a credit to Sean and his staff. And I wish Smith Station the best of luck.
Coach, it was another game in the second half where your defense totally took control of the game, not allowing many first downs for Smith Station. On the other end of the football, your offense, 3 quick scores in the second half. Again, another football game where we've owned the second half, and that's how we win, and that's what we've done.
Mark, and we also had a week and a half to prepare for this game, and we got 3 extra days to work on that option offense. And you know, when you haven't seen that, it's kind of like the wing tee. You know, when you either you don't run it or you don't see it, you've got to spend some time on it to defend it. And I thought after that first quarter, I think our kids handled it very well, but I heard something that you and Larry said on the radio. There were a couple more times in that game where Quincy Williams, if he would have kept the ball on the outside veer, would have made some big yards, and they chose to let the big fullback run the ball, and that would have hurt us. Our big inside linebacker was one. He's the kind of kid, though, he doesn't like option football. He likes to tackle.
Right.
The first thing that shows
the ball.
And it's something that you have to work on. So anyway, it was a great victory for the Dogs, and we're very fortunate to be sitting here at 7-0 right now, but very happy.
Very happy. Happy we are. We'll be back to watch the highlights of Opelika and Smith Station right after this. Okay, welcome back. Opening kickoff, Coach, and it's trouble for Smith Station right here.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. A great hit by LaMarcus Rowell. Now, our kickoff team now, I know you and Gore been talking bad about them. They've been doing a great job.
They've been doing better, Coach.
LaMarcus got the fumble, and, we got up to the ball, and they blew the whistle, and we thought we'd gotten a delay, but they were offsides twice in a row, and it gave us good field position out here. And, I feel just like you, Mark. I was disappointed we didn't put this one in.
Right.
But you got to understand how up Smith Station was for this game. This was the biggest game of their lives right now, and they really played us tough, and give them, we got to give them some credit. We missed an assignment there. We didn't block that correctly. But, give them some credit, and then give this kid some credit. Dallas Dorsey, Matt Owen snapped it, Corbett held it, and we got 3 points. And in years past, that hadn't been an automatic three around Opelika.
No.
And 3 points to start an area game off, I'll take every time.
Every time. Another kickoff, and again, pretty deep kick to the 10. Runs it out across the 20, and they take over right there.
Dallas Dorsey's been kicking that ball down there to about the 10 now and getting better. I can't wait to see him when he's a senior. They start off running some veer at us, and you notice they give it to that big fullback. Boy, I'd like to have him at Opelika. He's a big boy, but he's a senior and graduating. And they ran this trap a little bit at us, and we stuffed this real good. There were 3 or 4 plays we knew and here they go to no backs now. Yep. And we adjusted pretty good to that. We had, look at all the red shirts out there.
That's right.
And we adjusted to it. We didn't have any idea what they were going to run, so I kind of guessed.
Some more trouble here for Smith Station.
Well, yeah, and see the way they lined up their punt, we were going to try to block it from a certain way, and heck, he dropped the ball, and so look at the field position, and this time we're going to punch the ball in.
That's right.
Greg Knight played, like I told you, he's about 90%. He'll be completely well for the Central game. We had him a little special pair of shoulder pads to work with. Roy Chambers on the Sally play there makes another 4. I think our offensive line, I love the way we're sprinting out of the huddle, Mark, coming off the football.
Good, looks good, Coach.
Corbett Ogletree, they're playing with a lot of confidence now.
Needed 1, got 2 right there, Coach.
Yeah, and got the first down, and we're just going to keep hammering at them. Roy should have stayed outside on this play, this weak side sweep. But everybody's playing so hard. I think Larry mentioned about watching the offensive linemen and just watch them come off. Corey Larkin right there, who had a great game, punches it in there, almost scores. And then we go to our heavy team, and big Kelvin Henderson, the 245-pounder, pushes it across.
Plunges it in.
And
first touchdown.
First touchdown, that's right. And I want you to know Kelvin caught his first touchdown, his first pass of the year. And we're really proud of him for that.
10-0, Coach.
10-0 Dogs, and I'm feeling good, and everybody's feeling good, and all of a sudden we're going to be behind 13-10, Mark, in a bizarre event, some events that occur here. And I don't know why they happened to us in the first quarter, but I was telling Joe McAdory after the game, what if every football game only lasted a quarter? You don't think you'd have some upsets and you'd have some crazy scores?
A little short kick this time, but
high. And well, we should have wrapped up right there, but Melvin Cole hits a guy later in the game, just outstanding. And here comes the outside veer, and we played it all well except one man. LaMarcus Rowell tried to tackle the dive, and I want you to watch Corey Larkin run this kid down. Mark, this is incredible. What a great play by Corey to save a touchdown. And even though they still take the ball in, they're back here at the 21-yard line. And you got to give them credit. They had a good game plan for us. And here's the outside veer again. The quarterback, we should have attacked him a little bit more, but he only made 2 yards on that play.
Here's a touchdown.
And it's a great throw right here. We were really playing more run than pass.
Right.
And Smitty changed this, and we said, the heck with the pitch, man. Let's make sure they don't get the ball to number 3. And I think that is number 3 that catches the touchdown pass. And we put Corey on his side for the rest of the football game also, which we probably should have done before, but their place kicker knocks it through, and it's
10-7.
10-7, and you can feel the Smith Station people starting to come alive. And when you're the favorite, and we got 2 penalties on this play. We did rough the kicker, and LaMarcus ran into him. He didn't go down. And one of our kids bent over to pick the flag up for the official, and that's a 15-yard penalty. And I didn't know that. If you can watch this onside kick they try, look where they had to kick off from the 30. LaMarcus Rowell makes the greatest lick I've seen since I've been at Opelika. Watch him right there.
Oh, Coach,
I
didn't see that.
Boy, he leveled that guy, and he was trying to
that.
keep him from, letting our guy get the ball.
We got it before it went 10
Yeah,
yards.
and so here we are, backed up deep, and Corbett's got to learn to cut that thing up instead of running that thing outside. And they're going to shut us down here. We run a fine little counter sweep, but Greg doesn't run wide enough. We've got to get that straightened out, and we have to punt.
Here's our trouble.
And
Coach.
here's bizarre number 2 right here.
Over the
Matt
head.
snaps it over Travis's. Now, if Travis just picked that ball up and run it into the end zone, it would have been a safety. And it'd been 2 points instead of the 7 they're going to get. That's my fault, Mark.
For not letting him know to do that.
I haven't worked on that.
Would you have liked him to do that in that situation, Coach? To take
just
safety?
get it and run it into the end.
It never crossed my mind when we were doing the game about that.
Absolutely, but see, that would have just been a safety. They run the veer back down to the 4, and they make a fine play along here.
Right here,
we
I
go
believe.
motion, and they run the power play, and we missed some tackles and a line wrong.
Keon got the
places.
quarterback, and he handed to the fullback touchdown.
Yeah, our kids are really.
Now all of a sudden we're behind, Coach.
I know, it's just amazing,
He does miss the extra point though,
which was good for us. And our kids came over, and we just remember that a game lasts 4 quarters.
and this is a big drive for us right here, Coach. We get points out of this drive. Right
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, the longer that you let somebody hang around, the more chance they think they can beat you. And so we were concerned, but we got a long way to go. We thought Greg was going to be able to run this one out, but here goes the offense. And Mark, even though this is not going to be a touchdown drive, it's going to be about a 65-yard drive.
That's exactly
right. And I told the kids before the game, keep Smith Station's defense on the field. If we can do that, we felt like we had a chance. And anytime you see a white jersey hitting, and so we came out like that.
here. Into the quarter break, Coach.
Yeah, and Corbett's pass got knocked down then.
Yeah, but this is a big play right here, Coach.
Yeah,
3rd and 11. This
the
is
screen,
phenomenal.
and I'm going to tell you something.
Phenomenal.
I don't know how many people we blocked.
Look at all these missed tackles.
But there's about 3. Well, I don't know whether they're missed tackles. He just outran them.
Outran them. That's what I mean.
And you don't coach speed, but it's a great first down. They got a sideline penalty tacked onto it, takes it all the way down to the 21-yard line. So we're in business right after this play. I think they're going to administer the penalty right now. This was their second warning for sideline control. I don't have any idea what went on, but we try to do a good job at Opelika keeping our kids back.
You've
In fact,
moved
my
your
son,
sideline.
my son is the back 'em up,
Back 'em up coach.
Get 'em back,
And
coach.
you backed him up your line a little bit, too.
Yeah,
on the
and we
sideline.
moved our line back. We
Yeah.
sure did. Here we are sprinting out of the huddle, and we go rabbits here and move back over, and Smith's is not quite set, and Al runs a belly, and you can feel the momentum starting to turn a little bit. You know what I was thinking, Mark? I was thinking now, if we don't get any points right now, even if we didn't get any points, we've already kept them on the field about 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's going to wear down later in the
They
game.
called a legal shift on us here, Coach.
And this call was unwarranted. It was something that the official did not know that we were doing, and I probably should have told him before the game, but I will tell him before the game from now on. We've been doing it for 6 years, and there's nothing wrong with what we did. Anyway, we run the belly again. Al just is really
Running
playing
over
good
folks.
football.
That's right.
Mark, and we come in with him again, and John Ton Duckworth and Will and all of them, Dan Russell, all of them blocking well. And we go back to the belly, and Brian, we made a little mistake down here.
Were we a little early to put that group in right there,
Yeah,
Coach?
he thought we were on the 3 and we
Okay.
were on the 7.
That's-
And so we went to it one play too early,
I
and we
thought
didn't
that
make
even
the
on the
sweep.
radio, yeah.
But Dorsey kicks it through, and it ties the game up, and that gives us, it gives us a little life.
And we haven't thought, really don't think about it, but 2 field goals in that first quarter were big.
Oh
by
yeah,
Dallas.
yeah, and we're fighting for our lives here,
Right,
Mark.
right
and,
here.
But now here's when she starts turning around a little bit. Great lick by Melvin Cole. Golly,
Just
I just
fantastic.
love watching our kickoff team. They just having such a good time. But anyway, we've got to shut them down. They've already made one first down. That's Keon Hughley. What a great play. Goes back there, and then they've got to punt. And their punting average from this point on, Mark, you notice we're trying to block almost every kick, is only about a 16-yard average. And Coach Bond said it in the paper, the kicking game, I felt like was the difference in the game. But look at our field position. I mean, this
inside the 30.
Yeah, boy, they after Greg, aren't they? They have some good football players.
Nice pass right here, nice catch.
Absolutely. Corbett's just came up big to Greg. Great lick right there by Brian Dickerson.
Kelvin caught the pass.
We're down there on the 8-yard line, and Corey runs his speed sweep right here.
Just ran
Watch
by
Kente
everybody,
Evans make that great block on the corner and allowed him to get in there. A great touchdown, and the Dogs go up by 7. And, you breathe a little relief. But you know what I was thinking over on the sideline now? What's going to happen to us next? I was kind of thinking that, but Dallas kicks it through. But luckily, we don't have anything else bizarre happen in the game, except some of the things that happened in the third quarter, which we'll get to.
That was the last score of the half, I believe, Coach, 2013.
Okay, so I assume we're at the second half now.
I don't know if we're in the second half now, but
I think
we're still in the
we're a
first
little
half.
more in the second quarter right here. That's Quincy Williams, and his knee was on the ground.
Right, he was on
a
the
big
ground
break
at
for us.
15.
And now here they go, Mark shotgun. We're getting held a little bit, and not getting any calls there. But we went to cover 3, which is just not letting them beat us deep, giving them some under. Oh golly, great lick right there. I think that was Jason Clark who's playing better all the time, and that's Donald Johnson. Jason Maddox was our leading tackler,
Good pursuit,
a defensive tackle as our leading tackler in our football game, number 68. He is having what a year he is having. He is just playing outstanding for us. Half, and we thought we had another timeout left there at the half, but we'd used them all up, and so we'll start the second half. Corey, I think, like I said, this kickoff return, I think set the tone. Mark, our kickoff, boy, what a great run.
Coach, we scored right before half to go up 7. We come out of the second half and have a big return right there.
Yeah, and we let Alfredo Parker play some now, and Al's playing, and we're trying to wear them down. Look at the big back. When you weigh 210 and you can run like that, it really, really helps. We're shifting around in some different formations here, and Brian and I talk. We just keep pounding the ball at them. Don't give them anything, because this was a big touchdown to put in. And watch this move by Corey. Great blocking by John Duckworth right there.
By John
Corey will be the first to tell you too that he's run those touchdowns, but the big linemen and the wide receivers and the wing backs are helping him break loose, and just great effort.
We're up by 14. Another good kick. Dallas low this time. A little bit better return for Smith Station, up close to the 30.
Yeah, I don't think he kicked it real far.
No,
but,
he didn't, to the 20.
And we've gone to our 4-3 defense now, knowing they're going to throw. That was a possession down, and so we got them back in punt formation, Mark. And check this punt out now. This punt right here is not a very long punt either. If it's going to go but about 15 yards. And so the field position, again, is good.
Sorry about that.
That's that little 10th grader who's going to be just a dynamite football player before he leaves, Alfredo Parker. There's Chambers. And Roy's had 2 solid weeks for us and has really, really played well. So he makes some good blocks for us. Here's Corey on a sweep. It just runs by 4 people.
Everybody.
And, again, another touchdown. And that's 21. That's a 21-point lead, if I'm not mistaken.
34-13.
34-13. And all that happened, just like you said, within about 5 minutes.
This goes out of bounds, so they get it on the 35, but this is when they get a couple of penalties here.
Yeah, and Mark, you might know more than I do, but to the best of my knowledge, there was a penalty. LaMarcus Rowell got hit, and that was one penalty.
Right.
And then Coach Bonds got thrown out of the game, and that was the second penalty.
Right.
So that penalized them 30 yards,
Right.
I believe.
Right.
And so they're going to start back on their own 10-yard line.
It only was 25 yards because of the half a distance. So
yeah, so
whether 10.
I know the officials had to take a few minutes to get that straightened out, but they end up starting on their own 10, and it's 1st and 10, not 1st and 40 like originally the chains had set up, because I think they changed that rule. And so we've got them back deep. Their coach is gone, and so, boy, what a great play right there by Jason Maddox.
Right after that.
So we told our defense, just keep playing hard. This game is not over. That big fullback can beat you. The quarterback could beat you. Keep playing hard. Well, they punt. On 4th and 2, I kind of thought they might go for this one, Mark. But again, another bad kick. And look where we're going to get the ball.
Right around midfield.
I mean, when you can get the ball here and do something with the ball, it just really makes all the difference.
Coach, our straightaway plays were working real big that night. 5 yards.
Well, we're knocking them off the ball pretty good, and you know, we were just trying to just keep controlling the football. We did have to punt here. We had a couple of plays that did not work because people did not execute.
They roughed us though, didn't they, Coach? He got it out of bounds.
Roughing the kicker, and Mark, roughing the kicker is an automatic. Roughing the kicker, roughing the passer is an automatic first down in high school football. Or roughing the holder on a field goal is an automatic. Any roughing calls is an automatic first down. Roughing the quarterback is an automatic first down. So it gives us the ball, and there's Alfredo Parker running behind, although you can't even see him, he's so little, and he scores. And that's 41 with Dorsey kicking it up there. And the old fat lady gets to start singing here in just a few minutes. But we're going to get to play a lot of kids. And to me, that's the...
Up 28 with a minute to go in the third. Coach.
That's right. And again, I want to say this. The Smiths kids are playing hard, and they play hard the whole ball game. I've got a couple of my kids that used to play for me down there that are playing. Josh Gallant's on their team. And they've played hard the whole time. Our good defensive pressure. Derek Sistrunk almost intercepted that pass, but we're playing hard. We're getting a lot of look at Melvin Cole. Coach, Melvin Cole's going to be a great football player. There's Otis the Bulldog right there. Again, good pressure. All the red jerseys around the ball. And, you know, when you're up 41-13, you can have a good time. I think we've about inserted our number 2s here.
Dusty Harrison and company are in the game.
Tremarcus Lyles, who when he learns to run the right places and works on his game a little, is going to be a great back. Dusty Harris quarterbacking. Not a real good punt by Travis there, but there was a clipping penalty on them. And Mark, the rule is until possession changes,
that's right.
you administer the penalty. And
because they didn't catch it, it was still ours.
And if y'all remember, it happened in the league game.
Right.
So it is our ball, and that was the correct call.
We were just confused how it could be our call, on our ball back on that, but we got it cleared up.
Right, and
Here's Lyles up the middle.
It was really a good thing to play our 2s.
And they pick up a couple of first downs on that drive, Coach. The film's not showing it, but here's one right here by Lyles.
Yeah, and
that was the second first down of that drive.
Absolutely, and
here's
Alfredo. He played a little old bum ankle, still bothering him just a little, Mark. But
Justin Armstrong, center, I noticed you putting him in on the goal line one time.
Yeah, and John Sullivan, ex-Cook, Jimmy Baggett, Greg Holly, Kevin Ives, Joe Bagley, Torbert, Lante, all those kids got to play a lot. And Jamarcus Snipes, but good big hits right there. Defense.
They fumble, we get it back.
Yeah, I think that's Latrell running the ball.
That's right.
He got to play a lot. Terez Thomas, Melvin Cole, a lot of Carlos Ligon, a lot of our guys that now get to play.
It's good to get those young kids in an area game, that's for sure.
Yeah, Greg Ferguson, Brian Block, I can't mention them all, but it was a great win for Opelika, and let's get ready for Central.
41-13, Dogs win. Okay, Opelika 1-0 in area play, most importantly, 7-0 overall. I guess that's just as important. Ranked number 2 in the polls. Coach, we leave Smith Station, and of course we'd like to hang around on that because we won, but this week is Central. The Red Devils invade Bulldog Stadium for our last regular season home game this year. Central brings a, I believe, 5-2 record into town, fresh off a 31-7 victory over Auburn Friday night. Tell us about the Red Devils, Coach.
Well, first of all, Mark, I think I've got the liberty to say that since our program started, we hadn't beat Central.
Right. I didn't want to say that.
Well, I'm going to say it because it's bothered me for 3 years. But I think I can say that the first year's team that we won is good, and that second year, I would say they were close teams, and with us being at home, we had a lead late, and the Luke boy went up and caught a ball to beat us, and which was a heartbreaking loss because it kept us out of the playoffs. And then last year's football team, I can truly say that I felt like Central had the best football team in Alabama last year, and they should have won the state championship. They went to Vestavia Hills and got a couple of bad breaks, and that's what happens in the playoffs. You know, they worked all the way to the fourth round. I had a great football team. and we were down backwise. You know, we were down and out, and but we played them pretty good. You know, they beat us 14-0, but we just didn't have the football team that they had, and so as we approach this year, the way I look at this Central team, I don't think they are quite as good offensively as they were last year, simply because they don't have that great running back that they had last year. And I'm going to tell you something, their quarterback last year was excellent. They had a very fine football team last year. I think we're better. I really believe that we are a better defensive team than we were last year. And with us being a little better defensively and maybe them not being quite as good offensively is going to help us out. Now, defensively, they're every bit as good as they were last year. They've got the 3 best defensive front linemen in the state of Alabama, except I wouldn't trade our 3 for their 3. I'll take our 3 and match our 3 up against their 3. You're going to see, and their 3 are big, 280, 275, 275. Ours are 195, 195, 180. So and Dion, who's 295.
Right.
So and Dion played well, by the way, Friday night. So you're going to see kind of a David and Goliath defensive match, but a very good defense. I think that's the strength of their football team. They've lost twice. I can sit here and tell you that they could be undefeated right now. Russell County beat them at the first of the year, and Robert E. Lee beat them by 1 point.
Right.
And scored late to beat them. I was looking at the film a couple of nights ago, and that game they had 6 turnovers in that game. They've had trouble turning the ball over, and that's what's hurt them, Mark. But they've got a good football team. But I really believe, and their kicking game's good. The Luke boy is a great football player, but I wouldn't trade any of mine for him. But I can never. When I sleep at night, I can just see Luke catching that ball over John Jackson's head 2 years ago, and you just remember those things, and you remember going over there in the rain getting beat, and you remember the first year when Casey Hall and all of us went over there, and we got beat 13-7. You remember those kind of things, and so I think we got our best chance to win Friday night that we've had. Ron Nelson's a great young football coach. Bobby Wright is a great defensive coordinator. They got a lot of pride. You people are going to see one great high school football game Friday night at Bulldog Stadium, and we're looking forward to the contest.
It'll be the first time I've announced 17 years, Coach, 17 football seasons. It'll be the first time I announced a Central game without Coach Trawick on the sidelines. I know that'll be different for a lot of Opelika people to look across over there and not see Coach Wayne Trawick over there. But the Red Devils do come to town Friday, and tickets will be on sale this week at O&A and Anders.
O&A and Anders Bookstore Thursday, and I would suggest you get them early this year, Mark, because I've been told that Mr. Hicks told me that they're not going to sell any more tickets once the stadium gets full.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to see the ball game if you don't get there early and get your tickets. And so it ought to be a barn burner of a game. And while I'm on the show, Mark, if you don't mind me saying real quickly about our Player of the Week awards,
right.
I want to thank the Cracker Barrel, Tyler's Downtown, Victory Engraving, and Coaches in 4.
Right.
They give our players Player of the Week things for being Player of the Week only if we win, and so far we've gotten 7 of them. So we appreciate you and what you do for us, all the corporate sponsors, everybody that helps us, and I tell you what, the crowd at Bulldog Stadium this year has been outstanding, and we have really. I don't think I've ever been around more of a fun year in my life, and hopefully we can keep it up.
Real quickly before we go, there was a presentation before the game from the Booster Club of a check for $2,700.
That's right.
State championship track team here at Opelika in '98, their track ring, so I'm real proud of that.
And those rings will
Coach
be here in
Hoyette.
about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Tony Hoyette, head coach, he's already gotten his.
That's right.
15 more state championship rings will be here in about 3 weeks for those kids to wear for the rest of their lives.
That's right.
Congratulations to them.
Good deal. Opelika and Central Friday night. We'll be right back here next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Until then, thank you, folks. Dogs are 7-0. Good night.
Well, that's all for this week, folks. Now here's the replay of the Smith Station game with play-by-play from WKKR Kicker FM.